Good afternoon, Sarah. My name is Scott Pope. I'm with the Counseling Disability Services at CDS. And today we're going to do a progressive relaxation training. And I'd like to tell you a little bit about progressive relaxation. It's one of the oldest relaxations in Western tradition. Obviously, there's a lot of meditation that's been out for 5,000 years, but this is a Western form of meditation or relaxation. It was developed by a doctor named Jacobson in the turn of the century. He was very interested in the connection between cardiovascular problems and stress. At that time, people didn't think that that was the case, but he believed that from his own personal experience. So he went out to prove it. Along the way, he developed this technique called progressive relaxation that we're going to do today. And it's a very simple technique. And what we're going to do is simply progress through the body, tensing and relaxing body parts. And it's really an easy place to start with meditation because it's something very concrete to focus on. But saying that, it's important for you to know that in this time, your mind is often going to wander. And if it does, that's really an opportunity for you to understand what it feels like for your mind to wander. I'm sure you've had the experience of reading a book and going page after page and then realizing, oh my God, I don't remember anything I've read there.
Yes.
And that's, your mind wanders. So if you can start to understand what that feels like, sounds like, looks like, you can then maybe more quickly refocus and strengthen your attention. So this exercise also helps in building attention as well as relaxation. Okay?
Awesome.
So what we want to do is before we start is just to kind of check in to how we're feeling at this moment and kind of measure our level of relaxation on a 10-point scale. 10 being the most relaxed we are, 5 being somewhere in the middle, and 0 being the very least. And this is like a baseline, so we can kind of identify what progress or if there was any progress in the relaxation. So where would you say you are right now?
Right now, I'm at about a 5.
A 5. Okay, so, relatively relaxed. What I'm going to ask you to do is just get comfortable. And you can either lie back or sit up, whatever you're most comfortable. You can either keep your eyes open or closed, whatever is most helpful for you to pay attention. And let go of any kind of criticism. There's no wrong in this. Okay, so if you wander, if you fall asleep or anything like that, don't be highly critical. That's what you need to do at that moment. Okay, so we're going to start with any kind of relaxation with the breathing. So just before we change our breath, just notice how we're breathing. Don't change it, just notice it. And then what I'd like you to do is yawn for no reason at all, and then pay attention to the breath after the yawn and just see if there's any difference between the breath before and after the yawn.
Okay.
And then the breath after that, just notice how that breath feels. And do you notice any difference between the breath after the yawn and breaths before the yawn?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, often we breathe very shallowly, and that adds to our stress.
Mm-hmm.
So this breathing that we're doing now is a much more natural, organic breath. So we want to use this as a guide. And notice the language that I'm using. It's a guide, not the absolute breath. There's no right breath here, okay? So as we go along, you're going to use this breath. And then we're just going to focus our attention from our breath down to our feet. And ever so gently, just curl your toes. Not too tightly because it's easy to cramp your feet. And just breathe for 2 breathing cycles. And a breathing cycle is a breath in and a breath out, so 2 of those. And just notice what it feels like to have your tension in your feet. And then relax it. And just notice the difference between the tension and relaxation for 2 breathing cycles. Okay, wonderful. We're going to move upper body now from our feet to our calves and shins. And we're going to tense our calves and shins either by pointing our toes up towards the ceiling or down towards the floor. Either one works and either one is right. Just whatever is comfortable for you. And as you do that, you can start to feel some tension in calves and shins, and just pay attention to that for 2 breathing cycles and feel what that feels like. And then relax it and just feel the difference between the relaxation and the tension. And breathe into that for 2 breathing cycles. And if you need to close your eyes, you can, if that's what you want to do.
Okay.
Continuing up the body to your thighs, we're going to tense our thighs simply by pulling our knees together. You don't have to touch, just the act of bringing them together is all we need to do. And that will create some tension in our thighs, and just feel what that feels like. And again, breathe into that for 2 breathing cycles. And then relax it. And again, kind of pay attention to the difference between the tension and relaxation as you do that. Wonderful. We're going to move up to our buttocks and our lower abdominal cavities. We're going to tense our buttocks and our lower abdominal cavities and just squeeze out all the tension that be locked in our lower part of our trunk now. And just breathe into that for 2 breathing cycles. And then relax and just feel the difference. Okay, now we're going to move into our abdominal cavity. And we're going to tense our abdominal cavity either by pulling our abdominals in towards our backbone or out towards the other side of the room. Either one is fine, and check out which one works for you. And as you do that, you're going to breathe for 2 breathing cycles and just pay attention to how your breath is affected by that, if it's affected at all. Relax it and feel the difference between the tension and relaxation. Often we need to reset our breathing because as we tense our abdominal cavity, it often makes us breathe a little shallow. Mm-hmm. And that's typical what happens when we become anxious or frightened or stressed. Our abdominal cavity tightens up just to protect the organs within, and it changes our breathing pattern. So often just being aware of that and resetting our breath can be really helpful in reducing stress. Okay. So now we're going to continue up our body to our chest and back. And we're going to tense our chest and back by just pulling our shoulder blades together and creating some tension across our chest. And breathe in for that for 2 breathing cycles. And then relax again. Again, you might have to reset your breath because that can also create some tension in the lungs. Good. Okay. Now we're going to move to our arms and hands, and we're going to just make a fist. We're going to curl the fist into our wrist and make a muscle on top of arms. Just squeeze the body and squeeze all the tension out of our fingers right through to our shoulders. And breathe into that. And then let it go and just feel the difference between the tension and relaxation. There.
Big difference.
Yeah, good. Excellent. Now we're going to move into our shoulders and neck. Here's a part of the body that carries a lot of tension for us. So you may feel a little bit of something as you do this. So pull your shoulders up to your ears, your neck down into your shoulders, and really squeeze and just feel what that feels like. See if it reminds you of anything. Sometimes we walk around like this. Maybe not as exaggerated as this. And hold that for 2 breathing cycles. And then relax it. Just feel the difference between the tension and relaxation in the neck and shoulders. Good. And sometimes just moving our hands. Right now we have our hands on the table. If you just move them down into your lap, you can notice that it makes another big difference in the tension in our shoulders and neck. And sitting in a desk or a chair, sometimes we just need that break.
Mhm.
Okay. So now what we want to do is the last part of our body, and that's our face. And we're going to tense our face just by pushing your tongue to the roof of our mouth, making a big grimace with your face, and pulling your eyebrows to your hairline. So you're squeezing out your forehead, your eyes, your jaw, your tongue. Just squeeze it all out and breathe into that for 3 breathing cycles. And then relax it. Just feel the difference between the tension and relaxation.
It's tricky.
Yeah, okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do a body scan, and that just simply means we're going to look at each part of our body and see if there's any residual tension that's being held in our body.
Okay.
And we're going to imagine that we can take our breath and go beyond our lungs down to that body part, and it's going to pull the tension away from that body part and bring it back to our lungs.
Okay.
So let's go down to our feet. Just visualize our feet, see what they look like. Breathe into them for 2 breathing cycles, and just pull any residual tension from your feet. Great. And then move up from your feet to your calves and shins, and just visualize that. See if there's any tension in your calves and shins that's left, and just pull that up to your lungs with your excellent. You're going to continue up your body now to your thighs. Just visualize your thighs from your knees up to your hips, and see if there's any residual tension in that area. Just pull that tension up to your lungs. Excellent. Okay, now we're moving into our trunk, so our lower abdominal cavity and our buttocks. Just visualize that and just breathe into it and see if there's any residual tension there, and just ask it to relax. Excellent. Into our mid-trunk, our abdominal cavity, just visualize that. Breathe into it and ask any residual tension to kind of join with your breath and go to your lungs. And ask the abdominal cavity to relax. Wonderful. Continuing up your body now to your chest and back. Breathe into your chest and back, and just ask any residual tension to join with your breath and move to your lungs as you breathe into that, and ask it to relax. Moving down into your arms and hands. Just visualize your arms, your hands, and see if there's any residual tension there, and just ask it to relax. And then our shoulders and neck, just notice what that feels like. Visualize that, ask it to relax. Nice. And then our head and neck, just visualize that and ask it to relax. Now, I want you to visualize your whole body. Take a very deep breath and squeeze your whole body from your toes to your head and everything in between. Just squeeze all that tension that you've asked to come to your lungs into a small little ball. Tight, tight. Make it smaller and smaller until it's so small that you can just blow it away with your exhale. And then just breathe. Notice how your body feels. And then just take a moment to kind of feel the coolness of the breath coming in and the expansion of the breath as you breathe in, and the warmth of the breath coming out as the body returns to its natural size. Kind of the rhythm of your breath, the rhythm of life. And then just take a moment to scale the amount of relaxation you've created on a 10-point scale, 10 being the most, 5 being somewhere in the middle, 0 being the least. And when you're ready, just open your eyes and come back to right here, right now. So Sarah, how was that?
That was relaxing.
Yeah, so where are you on the scale?
I'm at, I think, an 8.
An 8, so you went up 3 points. That's excellent.
Mhm.
And what did you find helpful about this?
Definitely the breathing exercises.
Really helpful,
Really
yeah.
helpful, yeah.
Yeah. And did you notice a difference when you tensed your stomach and tried to breathe? And
Mhm. It's difficult to breathe
Yeah.
when you're tensing your abdominal.
Right. Good. Anything else you'd like to say about this experience?
I think this would be really helpful during any point in school. It can get really stressful, so I think this would be extremely helpful.
Good. And were you aware of your mind wandering at any time? And
Actually, I was very focused, I think, on your words, what
Right.
you were saying,
right.
but maybe it was wandering. I'm not.
Yeah, and that often happens the first couple of times, but as you do it over and over again, it
Mhm.
becomes kind of, you know what's coming, so it's
Mhm.
easy to kind of lose focus,
Mhm.
and that's when you have to be really kind and use that as an opportunity to learn about how to notice what it feels like.
For the mind to wander?
Yeah,
Mhm.
and bring it back.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, thank you for
Cool.
participating.
Yeah, thank you very much
Okay.
for being there with me. Thank you.